and hello and bonjour and salut and quoi de neuf and coucou and all those other lovely greetings. Hello everybody, this is episode number 9. Can you believe that we've already done 9 of these things of my live video tours of Paris? So I see I got my first live viewers here, so it's official. Welcome everybody as we wait for more to join. What we're doing today, the 7th Arrondissement. Hello Marianne, you might get the prize for first place, and Veronique is number 2, and Peggy. Hello everybody, thanks for those hearts and the thumbs up, keep them coming. Episode 9, live video tours of Paris. We're in the 7th Arrondissement today, and I'm going to show you some of my favorite addresses and locations here. As you can see, I don't have to describe what we're looking at, but let me tell you, in the 7th Arrondissement, there's a lot more to see than the Eiffel Tower. And today, we're not really tourists. That's not what we do. We are going to partake in a bit of urban exploration because that's how we like to roll here. So, 7th Arrondissement, let's go. There are already 100 of you here. Hello, everybody. Fire off those smileys and the thumbs up and the hearts. So, 7th Arrondissement, here we go. Hello, Vicky. Hi, Cindy. Hello, everybody. Here we go. Now, I'm on the Avenue Rapp. And at number 29, Avenue Rapp, we're going to wrap around here. Some of you might actually know what we're looking at. We've got one of the most stunning facades of anywhere in Paris. Hello, Ellen Fry. Good to see you all. Here we are. We're in the 7th Arrondissement, and by far one of the highlights is this stunning facade from 1901. This is a style called Art Nouveau. I know I've got a lot of Art Nouveau lovers out there. I'm certainly one of them. And Paris was one of the premier cities as far as examples of Art Nouveau. At the turn of the century, there was a new idea of let's make buildings essentially works of art, unique, one-of-a-kind works of art. Look at this entrance. Stunning. So the architect here was a guy named Lavirotte, and he signed his name on the building because these architects were considered artists. And this time of day, the sunlight, hello Sue, hello Jackie, the sunlight coming in at dusk, just magnificent. Now, Lavirotte was an Art Nouveau architect, sort of like Hector Guimard famously, and he integrated for the first time all of these lovely ceramics and glazed earthenware. And so that's what we're looking at, just an absolute symphony of a glass and iron and brick and ceramics. He actually built it for a ceramic artist. So this was the ultimate way for the artist to not only live in this beautiful house, but to advertise his wares. Now, Lavirotte, and I can show you his signature here, in 1901, he finishes this building, and it goes on to win the prize for best facade, prettiest facade in all of Paris. So there we go. And let me show you a little bit about this. The woman above the door, again, Art Nouveau is all about being very gestural and very expressive. This is his wife, they say. It's a likeness of his wife, flanked on either side by Adam and Eve. So Eve is on the left-hand side. And if you can see that, Lavirotte, the architect, really believed in sexual innuendo in his architecture. And again, I know I've got some teenage viewers, some young viewers here, so I'm going to keep it sort of appropriate. But there's quite a bit of, let's say, human anatomy. I'm going to scroll down at the doorway here. And if I can give you a full view of the door, we're not going to dwell on it, but there's certain bits of anatomy here integrated into the architecture. In fact, Salvador Dali, the famous surrealist who lived in Paris, once said of this building, he said it was the most overtly sexual building in the entire city. So the winner of Best Facade 1901, it certainly deserved it, here 29 Avenue Rapp in the 7th Arrondissement. By the way, that architect would go on to win 2 more of those prizes of the prettiest facade in Paris. Here we go. Let's hit the pavements. Let me say hello to everybody. Thank you for the smileys and the hearts. My wife is saying the girl here. So I got my daughter watching. Hello, everybody. Got some beautiful sunlight coming in today. It's a lovely day. We're getting close to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you don't know me already, I feel like I got to give this spiel at least once every video for the newcomers. I'm a French fry in Paris. My name's Corey Fry. I'm a blogger, photographer, full-time tour guide. And that's why I am providing these walks through Paris in real time. Now, a lot of people go and they check out that beautiful Lavirotte building at number 29, but they miss his actual house where he lived. Let me show you this. There's a square, and it's called Square Rapp, Square Rapp, R-A-P-P. And what we can see here is another example of that same architect, but he built a house for himself. Not for his friend, not for any artists. So we go here in this little square here. Hello, oh hello, D. Hubert, super fan D. Hubert. Now we go here. I'm going to be quiet because this is a very classy residence. So we're in this little courtyard off the beaten track. I'm going to scroll up, look at these details. Beautiful Art Nouveau, once again, by this guy called Lavirotte. And he resided in this building, so he built it for he and his family. And they lived up on the 5th floor there. I don't know if you can make it out in the video. Look right up at the top, just under the roof itself. Do you see that Eiffel Tower motif? Right? Because in the early 1900s, of course, the Eiffel Tower is pretty new news. And so he incorporated that in. And he also put some Louis XIV, some Louis XIV details in there as well. He also, let me just give you an idea of this little square here. Beautiful gate. Look, he designed this too. And there's a fountain. This is one of my favorite hidden spots. Yeah, if you like what's going on, hit the thumbs up and the hearts. Let me know that you're enjoying this. Just a stunning, and look at that. If we can expose for the Eiffel Tower. Now, you know I like to talk about Paris meditation. I'm just going to give you this composition just for a moment. Wherever you may be in the world, I want to thank you for joining me. And it doesn't get any better than this, people. This is when I feel very, very grateful, not only to live here, but to also share it with you. So there we go, a little bit of meditation. One last look at Lavirotte's home. I guess when you're an Art Nouveau architect, you know, you can whip one of these up for you and your family. And then what I like about this square is they've actually got a rather sort of bland wall here, the back of a building. But look what they did. I love this. You got to love the Parisian sort of ingenuity and the attention to detail. So it's just sort of flat. It's essentially like lattice work, but it just doesn't add a gorgeous effect. So this is called scour rap. You're very welcome, everybody. Glad you're digging it. So someone just asked an interesting question in the comments. Do I have maps of where I go in my videos? Let me switch this around for 2 reasons as we make our way to the next location. Hi, everybody. This is what I look like if you were wondering, if you're just coming here for the first time. I am on a website called Patreon, which is a crowdfunding site that allows people to become members and support this project right here, so I can keep these videos coming to you on a weekly basis. And my Patreon supporters, if you pledge a certain amount, you can actually get PDFs of these walks. And so I painstakingly, after every video tour, make a comprehensive PDF of the streets that we walked and the details and the stories that I mentioned in the video. So if you want that as an accompaniment to this, and if you want to use those maps when you come to Paris and find these things again, go ahead and check me out on Patreon. I've popped the link down in the description of this video. So either now you can click it or when we replay the video on Facebook. You can check out Patreon and maybe become a member and maybe get not only those PDFs, but a lot of the good exclusive content that I don't publish anywhere else. Let me switch back around. Here we go. 7th Arrondissement, welcome. Over 200 people. I'm so jazzed that you're here. Hello, Kristen. Hello, Lori from Phoenix. And Christine. Yeah, Christine's a patron. Speaking of patrons, I didn't tell you, I got a new scarf today, just this morning. I got to give a shout out to an awesome patron called Sheila. Sheila is from Salt Lake City, and I gave her a tour of Père Lachaise today, her and her husband. And right at the end, Sheila whips out a scarf for me. So I am donning Sheila's scarf. We are on the Rue Saint-Dominique, and I got some fun stuff to show you here. Again, we're heading toward the Rue Cler. Look at that beautiful sunlight just pouring down from behind me. The Rue Cler, the Rue Cler is where we're going to go in a minute, Market Street. But we're on Saint-Dominique, and Saint-Dominique is known for food. Food. So we've got the locals here doing their butchery. Little peek here as to what's going on. Hello, Mark. Hello, Diana. There's a lot of that great old-style Parisian shopping going on, where you would have a relationship with your vendor, and they would know about your vacation and your family and what's going on with your kids at school. And there's a little bit of that village atmosphere here. And I know some of you stay in the 7th Arrondissement, and you really love this area for that. Deanie says we're getting closer to her apartment. Do you have a key, Deanie, that you can send over real quick? Or tell me the code so I can get in and we can go check out your apartment. Oh yeah, I got plenty of food to show you on this walk. In fact, when people are looking for good food, I send them to the 7th Arrondissement. Yeah, isn't that gorgeous? The weather is perfect. We're hovering around 50 degrees Fahrenheit right now. And everybody's out and about. The locals are doing their thing. Now, here at Rue Saint-Dominique, in the 7th Arrondissement, address number 135 is special. Do you see that place on the right? It's called Les Cocottes. It's owned by a chef called Christian Constant, and he actually owns 3 locations on this same block. The one on the left, called Le Violon d'Ingres, and then Les Cocottes, and then a cafe at the far end. Now, 3 locations that you definitely want to eat at, it doesn't matter which. Here, on the right, Les Cocottes is much more affordable for lunch. On the right, it's much fancier for a special occasion. But let me tell you, Les Cocottes right here, I keep track of these things, and in 2015, it was the best lunch that I had the entire year. So just fantastic. Still memorable after, 2-3 years. So keep that in mind if you haven't been, you want to check out Les Cocottes. But by the same chef, a bit fancier, this place called Le Violon d'Ingres. By the way, Le Violon d'Ingres, it means Ingres violin, and I love this expression in French. There was a beautiful painter, an amazing painter in the 19th century called Ingres, and he painted the most gorgeous portraits of women in silk dresses. But turns out he could also play the violin extraordinarily well, far better than you would expect any artist to be able to do. So what happened is that became an expression. The violin of Ingres is kind of an example of if you do something really, really well and you're known for it, but you also have a hidden talent that you blow people away with. Still on the Rue Saint-Dominique. Hello, everybody. We're at 2:38. I'm so glad you're joining me. Boy, I have the most awesome followers and fans. And Friet, some of you are calling yourselves Friet, thanks to Dee Hubert. She started that trend over on our Facebook page. Okay, I've got to show you this here. You know I love old stuff. This is an old-style bakery. And I just want to give you a quick glimpse inside. Just a really beautiful old-style bakery. Look at the ceilings. Hopefully my signal's going to hold up in here. I mean, how lucky are we that we can just walk in and buy bread here? Thanks, Alicia. I'm glad that you're enjoying the walk. And then from this view, here, let's go down. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And I particularly love this view. I photograph this view often with the old style bread and the old fountain in the back. Look at that. Yeah, send those hearts my way, everybody. Oh, does it get any better? Come on. Speaking of that fountain, I got something I want to tell you about that spot. How gorgeous is this? This is from inside the bakery. Oh my goodness. Hi, Anna Tinsman. It's so good that you're here. I love it. Thanks, Christine. I appreciate it. Merci, au revoir. Let me tell you about this fountain. This is called the Fontaine de Mars, and Mars is the Greek god of war. Not far from the Eiffel Tower, we've actually got a bit of a field, a park, and it's where the Romans just vanquished the Parisians in 52 BC to just wipe them out and take over the city. And the god of war for the Romans was Mars. So that area near the Eiffel Tower is called the Shonda Mosque, or the Field of Mars, and this is the Mars Fountain. I don't know why, by the way, that the Parisians keep the name Mars, because it's a reminder of their defeat at the hands of the Roman god of war. So we've got a fountain here. Of course, you know, he's pretty scantily clad. He's got a lady friend, why wouldn't he? This is the fountain Faucet. Sort of like a creature from the Blue Lagoon or whatever. And then right here too, a very easy detail to miss. Right there. Now I mentioned this in episode 2 when we did Ile Saint-Louis. And this is cru means flood. So the flood of January 1910. Boy, you got to Google that one time. You grab yourself a coffee and a croissant and maybe some Nutella and Google the Paris flood of 1910. Basically what this is this line is how high the Seine River got. So imagine, let me back up here. That's street level, and that's how high, now we're nowhere near the Seine right now, but that's how high the level of the river got. Can you imagine? So what that means is that people were going through all these streets by boat and raft. Literally all this was covered with water. They estimate, as I said in episode 2, €1 billion worth of damage. All right, continuing. Let's see what people are saying. Hello, Cindy. Hello, Trish. I'm so glad everyone is enjoying this. Here's another little view for you. Let me expose for the sky. There we go. We are going down the Rue de l'Exposition and leaving the Fontaine de Mars, the Fountain of Mars. So, I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. Let me let you look at me. So, this is the scarf, guys. Check it out. Beautiful, dark blue. It's got a little bit of a pattern. You can see my mic there with what they call a dead mouse to cut the wind. But, it's cashmere, and it comes from Sheila M., one of my lovely, lovely, lovely Patreon supporters and members. And in our little group over there on Patreon, we talk often about getting the French fry some new scarves. And so I didn't plan on wearing this today, but I gave it to her to Sheila, and she popped it out right at the end. It's fantastic. Thank you, Sheila. Shout out to you. Okay, let me show you the street. Hi, Anne. I'm so glad you're enjoying this. Larry Allen. No kidding. Best friend from high school lives here. Fantastic. Isn't it great when those crazy connections can happen? Now, also in the vein of food that you want to eat. This is Philippe Escoffier. This is a fantastic restaurant that will blow your socks off. And let me show you. He used to be the head chef for the American ambassadors to France. So this is him with Bush Jr., Bush Jr., Bush Sr., very young kid. Look how young he is, and he's like cooking for George Bush. And then Obama. You can see Obama there in the center, and Philippe Escoffier is right on the right-hand side there. So this guy's the real deal. He gave up his job as the chef for the American embassy and decided to open up this place. Okay, again, we are on Rue de l'Exposition. This is number 18, and you definitely want to eat at that little bistro. The backstory of Philippe Escoffier, by the way, he grew up in the countryside in France, and his family always had an organic vegetable farm. And so they would grow fresh vegetables, and that's what he grew up on, essentially. Janice, well done. Janice Johnson gets some extra French fry points for predicting where we're headed next. A winner of the best baguette in this area. I am trying to adjust at the time. Sorry if it's shaky. I'm trying to adjust a little bit of some technical issue here. See if I can do it one-handed while maintaining the video for you all. Good morning, Lena. Joanne, nice to see you here. Okay, am I able to fix this technical issue? Seems okay for now. Okay, before we talk about this bakery that won an award for a baguette, let me swing around. We're now on Rue de Grenelle, and I don't know if they want me filming in here, but I'm just going to give you a very quick look at this charming little sort of country-style épicerie, or really a produce shop. Bonjour. Yeah, he doesn't look thrilled that I'm filming him. Sometimes that's how it goes. But I'm not inside, so technically doing no wrong, right? There are 300 of you here. I'm so happy, happy, happy. Thanks so much for supporting this and just your enthusiasm. Here we go. The name, you want to note this place, Les Gourmandises d'Eiffel, because right here, they're not shy about it. They won the first baguette, or first prize, of the 7th Arrondissement. So again, there are 20 districts. Oh, this automatic door keeps moving. 20 districts, and here in the 7th, they won the best baguette in the entire neighborhood, not once, but twice. Okay? Onward. Extreme rotisserie chicken close-up. Sorry if you're not a meat eater. That's what we call poultry meditation rather than Paris meditation. We've got a butcher shop here. I'm walking backwards for some reason, as if this isn't difficult enough to show you all these sites. Let's swing it back around. Now, our ultimate destination today is the Rue Cler. I know a lot of you are excited about that. In fact, over on Patreon, I let my members vote. My upper tier members voted for this area. They said, yes, Corey, give us the Rue Cler, give us the 7th Arrondissement. And I said, you know what? We can do that. Avenue Bosquet, we are crossing almost to Rue Cler. If you don't know, Rue Cler is famous for being a sort of market-style street that is always very lively and animated on a Saturday like this. Little doggy. And here we go. Let's see what you're all saying. Hi, Catherine. Glad you like this arrondissement. I know a lot of people stay here. There's some beautiful apartments. In fact, I got to tell you a fun story while we're making our way to the next destination. I was here researching this area, just to prepare for this video, and all of a sudden an old French lady is looking at that La Virotte building that we started at today, and she was photographing it. And we started chatting in French, and I told her I was a tour guide and the project I was working on. She said, hey, I live nearby. I've been here for 40 years. Do you want to come up to my apartment and see the view of the Eiffel Tower that I have? And I said, hell yes, or the French equivalent at least. And so this little old French lady invited me all the way up to her apartment, and the view of the tower was exquisite. I'll try to share some photos with you later. Hi, Jennifer. Oh, I'm great. Glad you got a memory of the Rue Cler. Can we just pause a moment and look at the light right now? Look at that blue sky and the sunset. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I can share this with all of you, because it's almost a little bit gluttonous to just share it by myself, right? Or just share it with myself. Okay, here we are. Rue Cler, C-L-E-R. And this will be the last part of our walk today. Before we walk down, we've got some beautiful produce sellers. And you know, what they do really well here is the fresh squeezed orange juice. I have become absolutely addicted. I'm convinced that it's keeping me healthy. And what they do is, rather than a soda machine, they've got this orange press. So you turn on this tap, essentially, grab a bottle, hit the tap, and all of a sudden it sets it in motion, and the oranges go down, and they are cut and squeezed just for you. Thanks, Sandra. I'm glad you enjoyed the light. So there's a really great atmosphere today in this area, because there are a lot of families who live in the 7th Arrondissement, and you can see little dads with their daughters and people with families pushing the strollers around. Hi, Tara. How's it going? Yeah, the sky is incredible. I'm so glad. This is a great time of year to show you a video at 5 p.m. Right here, we got a fishmonger. Again, we're going back to the style of old school French shopping, where you would have specialists. In this day and age of grand supermarkets, which do exist in France, they've got now still this sort of old school, the leftover. Let me just show you these oysters. Now, a market like this, back in the day and still today, receives all of its fresh seafood from Normandy. So in the 19th century, they would take the fastest horses they could find in northern France, and they would use those horses to get this from Normandy as fast as possible. Just another quick look there. Look at the painting. Painted on the painted mirrors. And if you're not into fish, there's plenty more to see. So let's move on. A lot of cafes here. If you want my number one cafe recommendation, there's a cheese shop. Number one cafe recommendation on Rue Cler is this one right in front of us called Le Petit Cler. I find it's got the best food and the best sort of local atmosphere. So if you've eaten there or if you plan on eating there, go ahead and throw me a couple of hearts and smiley faces. If you're digging this, by the way, as I always say, go ahead and tag one of your friends or a few of your friends in the comments. And we're on the Rue Cler. Florist. If you've been to Paris, you know that the flower shops are masterpieces in their own right. What happens is these specialists, again, in the day of sort of the days of Walmart that we live in, the idea that someone wakes up every day and they spend hours just trying to perfect one little part of the world, their little craft and their specialty. That's pretty inspiring. We've got here on the left a honey shop where they specialize just in honeys from all over France, flavored with rosemary and with thyme and rose petal and all that good stuff. It says they've been beehiving, so to speak, since 1921. This is a traiteur. Some people will see this French word and think that it means trader, but it actually means a caterer. So, the Parisians have very small kitchens and they're not always very well equipped. So what they do is they get very good, rather gourmet, pre-made foods. So if you're having a dinner party, and frankly, you can't pull off an amazing Martha Stewart style meal, well, you come here. Traiteur means not trader, but caterer. More fresh produce. The Four Seasons. I want to remind you all that, as usual, I'll be doing a cafe chat at the end, a private cafe chat for my Patreon people. So I'll ask you all when we finish this broadcast to pop over to the special Facebook group that I've invited you to, so we can, as usual, have a nice private chat, talk about the tour, talk about life in general. Another great local spot here, the Café du Marché. Definitely want to keep that in mind. And then, to finish, we're going to branch off of the Rue Cler. A little French kid on her dad's shoulders. There's just, on a Saturday, there's just a great ambiance here. Just let me give you a moment of that. Now, what I'm trying to do with this project every week is give you the feeling that you're inside of a travel documentary, but that you're really inside of it, like you're there as it's happening. I think there's a lot of value there. I think it's pretty special. And from the response, I can see that you all agree with me. So, we are turning off of Rue Cler onto, if you can make it out there, the Rue du Champ de Mars. Once again, the Field of Mars. I want to show you a couple shops down here before we wrap things up. Thanks, Serena. Yeah, nice Chinese food as well there, someone mentioned, so thanks for that. Here we go. So, if you branch off on the Rue du Champ de Mars, I actually want to take you inside this little shop here called L'Épicerie Fine. L'Épicerie is the term that they use for sort of a food shop, and nowadays a gourmet food shop. And they are very friendly in here. I actually asked ahead of time if I could film for a few moments. They said yes. So here we go. So this is essentially jams, tapenades, sauces, olive oils. Someone said they feel like they're walking with a friend. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Let me show you this beautiful chandelier. I quite like this. Look at the ceiling. Thanks for sending those hearts my way. I hope you can make out the music. There's a lovely classical soundtrack. Behind the counter is the owner there, a very lovely Frenchman who's very friendly. And let me show you this. Fresh coffee. If you're ever in this area, you definitely want to check this out. It smells fantastic in here. Fresh coffee from all over the place. Guatemala, Kenya, Colombia. I also love these salted caramels. If you ever see salted caramel with this kind of salt, au sel de Guérande. I actually went through Guérande once, and they had these huge salt marshes, and it's just the finest salt in all of Europe, if not the world. Look at all these lovely little treats. And then we've got pepper and spices. Peppercorn. So you come here, buy yourself some foie gras, buy yourself some olive tapenade, some coffee beans, caramels, and peppercorns. Why not? Life is good. And some legumes, some beans. And I think we're going to wrap things up now. Merci, monsieur. Bonjour. Merci, monsieur. Au revoir. One more shop to show you folks. I'm glad you're all enjoying this. I'm seeing a lot of love there with the hearts and the thumbs up. Thank you. La da 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 da. We're getting close to what they call l'heure bleue, the blue hour, which is essentially dusk. For those who like to drink absinthe at this time of the day, it's called l'heure verte, the green hour. So kind of the hour, this hour of the day, the color of it depends on what you're up to, basically. We're going to stop with a little cheese shop that is called, let me show you the name, Quentin. Quentin is a beautiful spot that's owned by this cute little old French couple. They don't particularly like me to film inside, so I decided not to bother them, but I'm going to do a bit of window bumping. You know that I like to do that. And we're just going to do a nice slow pan. Okay. Now, real quick, if you're not familiar with how French cheese works, they use three types of cow's milk, three types of milk: cow, goat, and sheep. Sheep's cheese is the one that I recommend people get because we don't get it, for example, in the US quite a lot. And so if you really want to discover something new as far as cheeses go, get a sheep's milk cheese. It's called Brebis, B-R-E-B-I-S. And it's never too strong. It's pretty, it can be kind of smooth and mild. And just a real quick look before I bother them too much of the cheese. So, there we are, folks. I think we're going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this walk. I am going to say goodbye to you face to face as we... So, again, French fry in Paris. If you want more of this kind of content, you can do a lot of things, actually. I'm giving you lots of ways to connect with Paris. Not only these videos every week, if you follow me on this Facebook page, you can also become a member on Patreon. If you do, and the other Patreon members can attest to this, I'm sneaking in little bits of exclusive content, extra photos that I don't usually post, or videos, or PDF maps of this walk. If you want to know exactly what we saw on this walk and the streets that we walked down, you can get a PDF delivered to you by becoming a Patreon member. How do you get there? Click the link in the description here. You can also take tours with me in Paris. I'm a full-time tour guide, and you can find that info down in the description as well. I'll be happy to show you this stuff or any other neighborhood, really. That's my passion in life, and I think I'll wrap it up there. Now, for those of you on my Patreon site, we are going to pop over to a cafe, one of these cafes on the Rue Cler, and we're going to have a private little chat about the walk today and whatever is on your mind. So from the Rue Cler and the 7th Arrondissement, I want to say goodbye. I'll see you next week for another one. And remember, if you can't bring yourself to Paris, I'm going to keep bringing Paris to you. Bye, guys. You can check the replay here in 2 seconds. This is going up on Facebook. For the replay, you can watch it as much as you desire. Bye. Take care, everybody. I'll see you at the cafe chat, all right?